In 2016, the Minnesota Vikings got to play in a new $1.1 billion stadium after the Metrodome was demolished. But while others are impressed with the state-of-the-art facilities inside the US Bank Stadium and the iconic design, we're interested in the price tag. Was it worth the massive billion-dollar investment? That's why we're taking this marvel of modern sports architecture to see if it really is worth the staggering construction cost. So join us as we explore the costs, benefits, and controversies surrounding one of the most expensive venues in the world. Now, for over 30 years, the Minnesota Vikings used to play in the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, often called the Metrodome. The Metrodome's construction began on December 20th, 1979, and by 1982, the stadium opened to the public. The Metrodome was designed by architect Fazlur Rahman Khan of Skidmore, Owings and Merrill. To build this behemoth, it cost $68 million, which is about $124 million when including infrastructure and other related expenses. The Metrodome stood for over 30 years, from its opening in 1982 until its closure in 2013. Demolition began on January 18, 2014 and was completed by April 17, 2014. But that demolition project bloomed into something much bigger and much better, the Minnesota Northern or Bank Stadium. This sports center is a $1.1 billion reconstruction, which was completed in July 2016. Construction started in the winter of 2013, even before the demolition was complete. And by 2016, the Vikings were playing there in the 2016 NFL season. Now, before we move on to the next section, please don't forget to subscribe if you like the video so far. Since it was first opened in 2016, the US Bank Stadium has been home to some major events. For example, it was the venue for Super Bowl 52 in 2018, where the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the New England Patriots. In 2019, it hosted the NCAA Men's Final Four basketball tournament, with the Virginia Cavaliers winning the championship. The complex has also been the site for concerts by big-name artists and other sporting events, making it a key venue in Minneapolis. Also, the ultra-popular WrestleMania keeps mentioning this stadium as their venue for future events, even though they've never hosted their wrestling matches there. And the reason for all of these major refurbishments has everything to do with the arena's iconic design. It was designed by a popular architectural firm, and while Mortensen Construction, a well-known company in Minnesota, handled the construction. The roof uses ETFE, ethylene tetrafluoroethylene, a lightweight plastic that lets in natural light. This makes the venue feel open while protecting fans from Minnesota's harsh weather. The sports center has 5 massive pivoting glass doors, each standing 55 feet tall. They can open during nice weather, creating an indoor-outdoor experience. But if you ask us, the coolest feature of the venue is the overall look. If you see it from a distance, the building's design mimics the look of a Viking ship, honoring Minnesota's Nordic heritage. Plus, it's energy efficient, using advanced systems to manage power and heat. The materials used were chosen to last and reduce environmental impact. Now, compared to the Metrodome, the US Bank Stadium uses LED lights, which consume about 75% less energy than traditional lighting. These lights are also adjustable, allowing operators to dim or brighten areas based on need. The facility's heating, ventilation and air conditioning (HVAC) system is state-of-the-art. It uses sensors and automated controls to adjust temperature and airflow based on the number of people inside. This reduces unnecessary energy use when the complex isn't at full capacity. On top of that, operators use advanced building management software to monitor energy use in real time. The system can detect inefficiencies and adjust settings to save energy without sacrificing comfort. And there are also low-flow plumbing fixtures and water-efficient landscaping that reduce water consumption. These systems indirectly save energy by lowering the demand for water heating and pumping. The funding for the sports venue came from multiple sources. The Minnesota Vikings contributed $477 million, the state of Minnesota provided $348 million, and $150 million came from a hospitality tax in Minneapolis. Now, over the 30-year life of the structure, the city of Minneapolis will pay a total of $678 million, including financing costs, covering operations, and construction costs. But all of that money was put to good use when you consider the over-the-top amenities that US Bank Stadium features. US Bank Stadium has 66,000 seats, which can expand to 73,000 for big events like the Super Bowl. Plus, they are wider and more comfortable, with better sightlines for watching games. If you don't like watching the game in these seats, then there are 131 luxury suites, and that's a lot when you consider that the Metrodome only had a few. Plus, keeping with the Viking vibe, there are exclusive club spaces, which include the Valhalla Club, Norseman Lounge, and Delta Sky 360 Club. These areas offer upscale food, private bars, and lounges. In addition, there are massive HD video boards that hang at both ends of the venue, each measuring over 120 feet wide. Also, free Wi-Fi and charging stations are available throughout, keeping fans connected. Now, if you want to grab a bite to eat before or after the game, there are over 20 different dining options, which range from local Minneapolis favorites to dishes from well-known chefs from all across the world. From top to bottom, there are bars and beer stations placed conveniently close to the seats, so you never have to watch the game without your frosty pint. But even if all of that is not enough, there is a 360-degree concourse that allows fans to walk around and see the action from different angles. There's also the Vikings Museum and team store on site, offering a deeper connection to the team. And to top it all off, this structure is fully ADA compliant, with elevators, ramps, and wheelchair seating available throughout. There are family restrooms, nursing rooms, and sensory-friendly spaces, making the US Bank Stadium welcoming for all visitors. But now the question is, was this entire $1.1 billion project worth the colossal investment, or was it just a waste of money? We wanted to compare the two stadiums to see which one was better, but the US Bank Stadium is in a league of its own. The comparison would not be fair to the Metrodome. The only thing it had going for it was the name and a little bit of history. Other than that, the US Bank Stadium wins in every aspect. If you want to compare the roof design, the Metrodome had an inflatable roof prone to collapse. We all remember what happened in 2010 after the heavy snow. US Bank Stadium, on the other hand, has a fixed ETFE roof that avoids these issues and feels open and bright. And while the Metrodome felt cramped and outdated, the US Bank Stadium offers more space, better lighting, and modern materials. Speaking of better seats, the Metrodome has very limited options, even when it comes to big spenders. The Metrodome lacked premium seating or high-end club areas, which are now a major draw for the US Bank Stadium. When it comes to technology, the US Bank Stadium towers over the Metrodome. The Metrodome had minimal screens and poor acoustics. US Bank Stadium has state-of-the-art sound systems and giant video boards. All of these luxury features have made fans flock to Minnesota, and not just to see the Vikings play. They also visit because of college football games, international soccer matches, and high school tournaments. But also, the acoustics and the seating charts make the venue ideal for gigantic concerts and live performances, which is why singers like Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran perform there. Not to mention, it's fun for the whole family. You can take your kids to the US Bank Stadium and enjoy the different kinds of food, the kid-friendly activities, and all the modern facilities we just mentioned. You couldn't do that at the Metrodome, so the ultimate question now becomes, well, when you consider that the Metrodome lacked modern energy-efficient systems and relied on outdated infrastructure, then yeah, it was worth the investment. The US Bank Stadium uses advanced technologies that not only improve performance, but also reduce its environmental footprint. Now, according to some sources, US Bank Stadium, managed by ASM Global, makes around $26 million every year. But if that doesn't seem like much, we didn't really account for the impact the complex had on the local economy, providing people with job opportunities and new businesses. And the best part is that thanks to increased revenue from electronic pull tab gambling, the sports venue construction debt was paid off 23 years ahead of schedule, saving Minnesota taxpayers $226 million in interest. And this doesn't even account for the millions of dollars from concerts, NFL games, and other large gatherings. Then there are sponsorships and partnerships, and of course, funds generated from facility rentals for conferences, events, and functions. So in all, yeah, the US Bank Stadium is well worth the investment. But what do you think? Was the US Bank Stadium worth $1.1 billion, or do you think that money could have been spent more wisely? Tell us in the comments down below. Now, here's another video mega project enthusiasts enjoyed watching. Bye for now.